outside, and back on the fence was Down in Monterey running third. A length away, Crying Game fourth. Fifth, the inside Grandmaster getting a nice run. Dark Tsar's covering a lot of extra ground. It's 3 deep. In the centre was one man out. 2 lengths away, Propaganda, and Buzz Off is at the rear, but only about 6 or 7 lengths off the lead. They're working to the 1500 now, and Backslapper the leader. He's 1 length clear. Scrupulous second the outside with not a lot of speed on. Down in Monterey third. Fourth the outside was Crying Game getting a pretty good run. A length behind those in 5th position now was Dark Tsar, but he's always been wide, around 1 man out, and on the rails was Grandmaster. 2 lengths to Propaganda inside of Buzz Off. So they're inside the 1,000-metre mark, and Backslapper the leader, trying to lead all the way in the Lean Cuisine quality. He's 1 length in front. Scrupulous second. Third on the inside, Down in Monterey. Now Dark Tsar is racing 5th spot at the moment. Crying Game is there as they run up towards the home turn. 1 man out was next, Grandmaster the fence. Back second last, Buzz Off and Propaganda. They've got 600 to go, and Backslapper is the leader from Scrupulous. Down on Monterey trying to get one off here. Scrupulous is going to come 3 deep, and then Crying Game pulling wider was 1 man out as they come to the home turn. Dark Tsar hard ridden, and Grandmaster getting a run through the field, but Backslapper a length and a half in front as they turn into the straight, getting to second. Down in Monterey, Grandmaster runs on, then 1 man out, and Buzz Off trying to weave his way through, but it's Backslapper at the 300. It led by 2 lengths to Grandmaster, then Down in Monterey, followed by Buzz Off. Backslapper the leader. Grandmaster's after it solidly now. Backslapper a length in front with 100 to go. Grandmaster trying to inch it back. It's Backslapper a half length in front. Grandmaster can't get it, and Backslapper all the way. Backslapper first, 3/4 of a length to Grandmaster. Buzz Off has run third, just in front of Down in Monterey, and then 1 man out. Dark Tsar. Crying Game was never really a chance. Scrupulous got very tired. It's pulled up at the rear with Propaganda.
Well, Daniel, a lot of disappointing horses in that race. I thought Backslapper, Stephen King, went to the front, set the pace all the way, and just let it roll along, and a pretty slow time, 2:39. But you couldn't really make excuses for any horse. Grandmaster definitely had his chance to get up alongside Backslapper. I thought young Lenny Beasley had ridden him beautifully. You can see here, there's Backslapper leading here, arrowed, and right behind him is Grandmaster in the saintly colours. And when the film rolls here, you can just see, I thought this is where Grandmaster was going to grab him, but he just wants to lay in on top of this horse here. He's nearly run right in on top of him. Lenny Beasley had to stop riding. Tries to get him going again to get up outside Backslapper, but he just sort of kept rolling along, and look, I don't think you'd see any horse here come out of this race and be a threat in the Melbourne Cup. I think they were all pretty disappointing.
Gary, there was a couple of horses, Scrupulous, he raced a little more forward today, and he probably didn't settle 100%, but he was gone on the turn. Crying Game didn't do a heck of a lot.
No, they were very disappointing, and here's a great shot here of them coming head on. You can just see here, this is where I thought Grandmaster was going to go up alongside the horse arrowed here, Backslapper. But you'll notice, see, get his head on the side, Grandmaster, in the saintly colours. That's the black and white quartered cap there. And now he's been able to get him back outside him again. And he sort of grinded away, I'd say, but gee, I couldn't make an excuse for any horse. I thought Stephen King just rolled along on Backslapper nicely, and that was about it.
Gary, again, similar to the first race, the horses that have run the place there were the 3 horses closest to the rail in the last 200 or 300 metres. Is that significant?
Well, I think, that the rail is most probably all new ground, but it has dried out down, as we said, but don't take any notice of that time there, 2:39. That was just because of the way the race was run, and as you said, Scrupulous is up there pulling.
OK, well, let's go trackside. We're going to the mounting yard. Join Peter Donegan.
And Dan, I have with me the winning trainer and John Blakey. That must be a thrill winning a race on Derby Day, John.
Oh, fantastic. Just been training 6 months, and it's a big story to this horse. The fellow that owns him told me to go and get him out of the paddock 4 or 5 months ago, and he said, you win a Hoffman handicap with this horse. The owner died on Tuesday, unfortunately. Norman Steele, fantastic, grand old fella of the turf. Raced horses for 50 years. Here he is, he's won for him today. Fantastic.
So you must have mixed emotions, really?
Oh, yeah. Fairy tales do come true in racing, don't they?
What a ride. That was a brilliant ride in front.
He just rated him fantastic. He's one of our leading jockeys, isn't he?
And you must have given him a bit of a hope too, John, because he did pull pretty hard at Caulfield.
I did, gave him every chance. He'd done the work, he just copped the work. He's a nice, big, old, strong horse. I think he's just coming good at 7.
Well, it's a pretty emotional moment for you. Enjoy it, and with the rest of the connection. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Peter. Thank you.
John Blakey, the winning trainer there with Backslapper. What a great story it is, and unfortunately the owner who had the dream of winning the Hotham Handicap as it was once known, now known as the Lean Cuisine Quality, passing away. But he's looking down from up above today to see that horse Backslapper, rated beautifully by Stephen King in front, winning the race. So it's Backslapper the winner, second placing going to number 6, and that is Grand Master. And third home in the race was number 3, and that was Buzz Off, 8, 6 and 3. We'll be back to Flemington very shortly as the sun comes out. Stephen King returning to scale. To this delightful scene here at Flemington. The sun's shining at the moment and many well-known faces here for the Derby Day meeting, and we're one before the Derby, the Qantas Wakeful Stakes. Before we have a chat to Roy Higgins, there's just a slight delay with Malinti leading the mounting yard. We'll have a look at her in a moment. In the interim, a late report from Tim Gossage.
Well, they've stood and waited, and now they've come for Kensington Palace. It is a pronounced favourite. Everything else has drifted in the market down here. Kensington Palace very strongly back to win this race, to break its run of placings. And news on the Derby, again, more money for Tie the Knot.
OK, so Tie the Knot, the one they're backing there. Thank you, Tim. Tim Gossage in the betting ring, and of course, everything that happens in the lead up to the Derby we'll keep you up to date with. What are you looking at?
Nothing, horses. It's horses.
Hey, they're over there.
There are some very nice fillies in this race. These fillies are having their last run now before the Oaks on Thursday. The favourite for the Oaks is number 7 here in Kingston Palace. She's running here. She looked excellent in the yard. She's gets a chance here at Flemington. She's a big track horse. I marked her on top of number 11, Regal Sachet. This is a typical Bart Cummings preparation. The difference between her last run and today is phenomenal, and she'll be better again on Thursday. 9, Marine Spirit. This one ran second at Moonee Valley recently. By gee, she's gone ahead good. And also the toppy here, Only a Lady. Beautifully bred Sir Tristram Fury from the Clary Connor stable. She too looked good. Open race, I went 7, 11, 9 and 1. OK, Kensington Palace from Roy, but Marine Spirit, the one that Roy marked third, round about the $22 mark on the tote, so that might be one for your trifectas. Thanks, Roy. Bye.
Roy Higgins will be keeping us up to date with his opinions of the horses in the birdcage prior to the running of the races here at Flemington today, and of course as well on Tuesday, Foster's Melbourne Cup Day, which we're all looking forward to. I think Stephen King will be looking forward to his ride here, and there is the filly he's aboard, the Bart Cummings trained Regal Sachet. I think she's the big danger if there is to be one to Kensington Palace, and we caught up with Stephen pre-race.
She's got a nice chance. The barrier's a little bit awkward, but you know, I think she should be. If she can get a good run, she'll be very hard to beat.
Where would you like her to settle?
Well, once again, from that barrier, sort of got to go out there a little bit open-minded and just see how the race pans out. I'd like to be sort of 5th, 6th if possible, but I don't think that's going to be possible.
Yeah, Regal Sachet is another one in the same category as Kensington Palace, really, Jen, that I thought the longer the races, the better she'd be. And having the Bart Cummings polish on it, well, that won't hurt her.
Won't hurt her at all. In fact, it will help her a great deal. Pete, there's another one that I'd like to mention here, number 16, Alamonte. She didn't have any luck at all in the Oaks Trail. Huge odds, 70 to 1. Just a little roughy.
Incidentally, I caught up with Gavin Eads a little bit earlier. He rode Buzz Off in the Lean Cuisine Quality, and he said the run wasn't that bad. He wasn't aware of the fact as to whether they'd persevere with the Melbourne Cup, but I think it's probably going to be the same as Grand Master. The horse is in the race, it's qualified, it may as well be running rather than staying at home in his box and watching it on television.
Well, they put a lot of planning and training into these horses for the Melbourne Cup, obviously, and if they're going all right coming to this stage, well, you know, if it's touch or go and the horse is fit and well, there's probably no reason not to run them.
What we might do is we might have a look at the totes for the Derby just before they move in here for the Wakeful, and give you an indication as to what the tote figures are in fact showing at the moment. So let's have a look at those, and you can see Encounter is very big odds really at $6.90. Tie the Knot right in the betting at $6. We've got Gold Guru round about the $9 mark. Brave Prince $7.50. They're the top chances on the first page. Let's go over over the page now and take a look at the other runners there. Second, Cummings, good value at $21. Calistair, 7 from the Freedman stable. And from the Bart Cummings stable, Spying, round about the $7 mark. So they appear to be the main chances in the Amy Victoria Derby. That's due at $2.45. But all importantly, that's for the 3-year-old colts and geldings. This one is for the 3-year-old fillies, the Qantas Wakeful Stakes. And Dan Malicki and Gary Willits have been casting an eye over these runners as they make their way to the stalls. Gary, what impressed you?
Oh, look, I like the look of Kensington Palace, and I think this 2,000 metres, she's just been crying out for it. And I think whatever beats her home will win the race. But Regal Sachet definitely looks well. Drawn badly in 16. Needs a little bit of luck from out there, but knowing Bart's instructions to Stephen King, he'd most probably say, look, just let it drop over behind them and hope you get a run, because I definitely think the inside is the best part of the track.
Kensington Palace is certainly bred to stay. It's by the 1990 Melbourne Cup winner Kingston Rule, and it is a solid favourite. Tim Gossage, late news in the ring.
Absolutely. Massawa, they've come for it. Kensington Palace still the outright favourite, but Massawa has been the subject of huge support in the last 2 minutes.
Bart Cummings trained. I think Bart's won about 13 Wakeful Stakes, which is an unbelievable record.
Oh, it's just incredible, the man. You know, you go back through his records that, well, you know, I doubt if anyone will ever break them, Dan. That Massawa, that was a very good win at Geelong in the Oaks trial down there. But this is the one where you want to watch the fillies, like even like the ones that run second or third, are the ones running on for the Oaks.
First one at 1964 with Light Fingers.
Well, not a bad one to win it with.
Now the fillies are set to go for the Qantas Wakeful. 2,000 metres is the distance. And they look to be standing okay now. Kensington Palace in the yellow, red striped sleeves, red cap. Colours made famous by Kingston Town. Raced by the Haynes family. Is Kensington Palace the favourite? Good support for Massawa. In the green and gold diagonal stripes, white cap. The most famous colours of Bart Cummings. Now Regal Sachet is on the move here at red. And the jockey just out of the saddle momentarily, and a tenant going in to settle her. Another Bart Cummings trained filly. As she's settled there, ready and racing now. Stay Lucky, Mr. 2 lengths. Regal Sachet a little slow, and Like a Beale was slow to begin, so an awkward start for quite a few. The first out, Only a Lady. Alamonte going forward with a stablemate Malinti, and Kensington Palace was right up there in the early stages. Wider out was Snar Dame. It's 4 deep, but going forward as Alamonte went to the lead. It crossed over at the 1700 to lead 2 lengths to Snar Dame on the outside of Malinti. On the fence, fourth, Only a Lady. Around it, Miss Perron. And then came Kensington Palace, who's only about 4 lengths off the lead and 1 away from the rails. Back on its inside was Marine Spirit, a length away then to the New Zealand filly Kilmore Key. 1.5 to Western Reality, who's about midfield on the inside of Hit and Run. Zashaline's 3 wide but going forward. 1.25 back Massawa, a length away Tropic, and then Stay Lucky. Regal Sachet second last, and Like a Beale was last, and about 12 or 14 lengths off the lead. Along the back, about 1,200 left to go, and the leader is Alamonte by 2 lengths. Snar Dame running second, a length away Malinti third on the inside. Miss Perron fourth, about 2 lengths to Only a Lady fifth. 3/4 back to Kensington Palace, 1 off the fence. Then Marine Spirit on the inside of Kilmore Key, a length further back to Zashaline, who's covered a lot of additional ground. Western Realities on the inside of Hit and Run, 2 lengths to Massawa. Another 2 to Tropic around Stay Lucky, 1 to Regal Sachet, who's about 10 off the lead, and back last the inside Like a Beale. Running up towards the home turn now, 700 to go, and the leader is Alamonte, about 3/4 of a length in front of Snar Dame. Malinti's had a lovely run third on the inside of Miss Perron as they come to the turn. Kensington Palace is easing out. It's coming 3 and now 4 deep as they straighten up, and then Only a Lady trying to get clear. Marine Spirit next. Massawa ridden along further out then to Zashaline. Regal Sachet trying to weave through down to the fence. 3:50 to go, and Kensington Palace swooped up on the outside of Snar Dame to take the lead. Marine Spirit getting out Only a Lady, and they were followed by Zashaline. Regal Sachet ran into a dead end. Kensington Palace the leader. Only a Lady coming at it with Marine Spirit. Kensington Palace about a length in front. Marine Spirit, Only a Lady, and then Kilmore Key, but Kensington Palace will be too good. Kensington Palace wins it. Second, Marine Spirit. Third, Kilmore Key, who got to the line nicely. Only a Lady close up fourth. Then Zashaline, next in Malinti. Regal Sachet perhaps didn't have the clearest run in the straight. Alamonte back on the fence. Stay Lucky made ground, and then Tropic Snar Dame Weekend, and then Miss Perron and Western Reality Massawa Never a Hope. Like a Beal back to the tail of the field with Hit and Run.
Well, Dan, that's what she's been looking for, that 2,000 metres, and the further she goes, the better she'll be. You know, she'll start a short price in the Oaks, and she deserves to be. It was a beautiful ride by Damien Oliver. Regal Sachet had no luck at all, drawing out where she did, had to drop her back. Here's Kensington Palace going to the lead here. Regal Sachet's about 8 back on a blue cap. It's hard to pick her up here. Purple colours, white sleeves. Stephen King's got no luck at all on her. But Kensington Palace just goes to the front here. Damien Oliver just rides her hands and heels, waves the stick, gives her one there, and see you later, guys. She just works away. But when she gets over the 2,500 metres of the Oak, she'll be even better. Regal Sachet's ran home nicely. She could be the one that might trouble her in the Oaks, because she had no luck at all. She drew bad and had to drop back. And Stephen sort of tried to get runs.
She got to the front quite a long way from the post, Kensington Palace, so yes. I thought she did a good job, because no one actually made the ground on her in the last 400, Gary.
No, she was going very well, and always had the race under control. Now, it's like from Kensington Palace, if you go out, well, Stephen King in the blue cap, he's about, you can just see him coming through now. Say 3 from the outside, going from the outside, but he's got no luck there with the blinkers on the horse. He's had to take hold there, and she was the one I thought was unlucky out of the race. Most of the others had every chance. She's still got no room here. In the blue hat with the blinkers on. But all the honours are with the winner. David Haynes, you know, he's been a great owner and put a lot of money into the game. I rode a lot of good winners for him with Rosa Kingston, Spirit of Kingston, and of course he raced the mighty Kingston Town.
Very famous colours. 792 are the official numbers. 792, that's Kensington Palace, Damien Oliver, Marine Spirit, Brian York, and Kilmore Key, Greg Childs. 4th in, number 1, Only a Lady, and 5th in, and talk about a good run, Zashaleen, 3 wide the whole trip, and has battled on 4/5, a few unlucky runners. Okay, John Letts is on the track here with Damien Oliver, and it's quite possible, Letts, in about 5 days you might be talking to Damien winning the Oaks, because she'll start the favourite, Kensington Palace.
Damien, you look like you're going to be on a pretty short price favourite in the Oaks.
Yeah, she's just been screaming out for distance, John, and finally up to 2,000 metres today.
Damien, you must feel pretty confident going into the Oaks now, because being at Flemington too, I noticed her last run she was very unlucky, wasn't she?
She was, yeah. She just needed 2,000 metres plus to find her best, and she did today.
She gave you a nice ride, she settled down beautiful, speed nice.
Yeah, she's a beautiful staying filly, and, you know, that's all she's wanted to do from the word go.
You got no worries about the way the race, the Oaks will be run?
Not really, no. I just hope it's not a biased track to the fence like it is today. No. Unless you're near the rails today, it's going to be very hard to win, mate.
Yeah, she's a very good filly, though. She's got a big year ahead of her next year too, Damien.
Absolutely, yeah. She might be Cuff's chance next year.
Yeah, good luck, mate, and good luck later in the carnival.
Thanks, mate.
And Lee Friedman is down here now, talking to us about that filly who is going to start a pretty short price favourite in the Oaks, I'd say.
Well, I'd like to think so. She's a lovely filly. I mean, she hasn't had a lot of luck the last 2, Peter, and you know, arguably she should have been right in the finish of the 1,000 guineas, and we've just been waiting to get her up in ground. You know, she's by Kingston Rule, and she's out of a granddaughter of Busted, so she's bred to run the trip.
You told me about 4 or 5 weeks ago she'd win the Oaks, and I think you're going to be right.
Oh, well. It looks all right, doesn't it?
And I thought it was a very clever ride too. He didn't get cluttered up and got back to the rail in the straight too.
Yeah, well, really, the way the track's racing, there was only 1 or 2. There was 2 ways you could ride it. It was either a hooker at the start and try and just hope for luck on the fence, or push his luck and go early, and that's what he did.
Can you look a bit further ahead than the Oaks? Damien's just anointed her maybe a Cups horse next year.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He ought to leave those decisions to me.
Well done.
Thank you.
Lee Friedman, the winning trainer, and Damien Oliver, the winning rider, returning on this very, very good filly, Kensington Palace, coming back to scale now. Damien just giving a pat down the neck. Well done, little girl, and she might do the same thing in the Oaks on Thursday. Numbers there, 7, 9 and 2. Marine Spirit, the one that Roy liked, at big odds, 2nd. Kilmore Key, 3rd. We'll be back to Flemington soon.
It's the hottest place to be in town on November 4. Don't miss Canberra's biggest Melbourne Cup party at ACT Racecourse. Get a group of friends together and join the party atmosphere. See the FM 104.7 Cup, the 10 Capital Handicap, and catch the big one, the Melbourne Cup on one of the many screens around the course. There's restaurants, refreshments, and entry to the course for under 18s is free. Make sure you live the action at Canberra's biggest Melbourne Cup party.
G'day. I'd like you to meet Crystal.
And we're back with you at Flemington after the Qantas Wakeful Stakes, and we have a decisive Oaks favourite now in that filly trained by Lee Freedman, Kensington Palace. Great ride by Damien Oliver, summed up the situation beautifully. And the jockeys have just returned for the important job of finding weight.
Correct weight.
And there it is, Whitman's correct weight signal after the running of race number 5 on the card. And I think she will start pretty short in the Oaks Stakes on Thursday, and justifiably so. Dan, that was a pretty impressive performance.
Yeah, it certainly was. No doubt about that, Pete. And she did run the favourite as well today. In fact, 2 favourites successful back-to-back in the 4th and the 5th. Kensington Palace, $2.80 and $1.50. 9 Marine Spirit, $5.80. 2 Kilmore Key, $4.40. The Quinella, $43.60. The trifecta, $964.70. And the running double returned $11.50 on the combination of 9 Prairie and 7 Kensington Palace. A length and a quarter by a half a length for the margins. The time 2:04.3. Only a lady finished 4th. And a good 5th, a strong 5th, was number 12, Zashaline.
Yes, and the run of Regal Sachet wasn't that bad from an Oaks point of view either. I think she'll still be in the race on Thursday. Well, there's the winner, Kensington Palace. We've been waiting for her to win a race for so long, Jen, and we knew it was going to be soon. The Wakeful was probably it, and she's done it well.
Yeah, she's been running around with a big red light flashing on her head, hasn't she? Yeah. Saying Oaks, 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 and I think she's going to get it too.
Well, the Connections are going to get the spoils now because they're ready for the presentation. Rob Gaylard once again.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Qantas Wakeful Stakes, another group event, of course, of which we're having presentations for, and representing the VRC, Mr. Keith Southwick. But to begin our presentations, the Regional General Manager for Victoria of Qantas, Mr. Stephen Thompson.
Thanks, Rob. Mr. Southwick, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Qantas Airways, may I say how delighted we are to once again be involved in sponsoring the Qantas Wakeful Stakes. Our sponsorship of the Wakeful Stakes continues a very long and happy association between Qantas Airways and the VRC. Each year at Qantas, we carry many people into Victoria from around Australia and indeed overseas for this outstanding carnival, and I can assure you this year has been no exception. At Qantas, we're also delighted to be involved in sponsoring many other major events here in Victoria, such as the Qantas Australia Formula 1 Grand Prix, the Australian Tennis Open, and one-off events such as the Bledisloe Cup. But there is no doubt that the Spring Racing Carnival is unique, and we are delighted to be associated with it. On behalf of Qantas, it's now my pleasure to ask the winning owner, Kathy Haynes, to the microphone. Thank you.
And congratulations to Kathy Haynes and her father David. As we said, these colours successful aboard Portland Player in the Derby on this very day last year, and they taste the thrill of victory with the filly Kensington Palace. Now, the way is clear for the big one, Jen, and as we take a look at the Amy Victoria Derby, give us your thoughts.
Well, I'm going to stick with number 13, Spying, another horse that I've had my eye on for quite some time, Pete. He hasn't had a great deal of luck in his races, but he really does look like he'll be suited over this distance, the Derby distance. For second, I'm going for number 1, Encounter. He's got all the class in the world, and I do think he'll run extremely well. And number 5, Brave Prince, just a real gutsy horse. He's been racing extremely well. Another one that could fill the placings.
There are the tips. So it's Spying from Jenny, Encounter from Richard, Johnny Letts and myself. But I do think Spying's going to be pretty hard to beat. As I said in the panel this morning, I think the reason that I went off Spying, I just didn't know how he was going to be in the going. But now that the track has been upgraded, yes, I think he's a definite hope.
Yes, a definite chance on his last few runs.
But it's a great derby. It really is a very even derby.
It sure is, and it'll be interesting to see how Encounter does come through the derby after his Cox Plate run.
We're going to have a look, Sandra, at every one of the runners before the Amy Victoria Derby. Starting time is 2:45, and I'm looking forward to seeing every one of them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Peter, and thank you, Jen. I mentioned earlier that you had been winning a few pennies today, and I hope we all are. Thanks very much. Now, joining me now in the marquee is one of the new bands that has exploded onto the Australian music scene, past to present. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I want to get all the names right. It's Frank,
yes,
Norman, Lenny and Leighton.
Yep.
We have two brothers here. Now, congratulations. Your debut album has Four Noble Truths.
Yes.
It has won critical acclaim. Tell us about it.
It's pretty much an album that we put together and pretty much wrote ourselves about a good 70% of it. It's been out in the market for a little while now. It actually did really well over in Asia, which is where we tour quite a bit. And we released it there first before we released it here, and yeah, so we're really happy.
And the single is rocketing up the charts at the moment, Ready, Willing and Able?
Yes, that's the one, Ready, Willing and Able. It's pretty much doing really well, and we're really pleased with that. We're happy with that.
Yeah. Now, the big news, of course, is you've just come off tour with Tina Turner as she toured Australia. That was a bit of a coup. Tell us how exciting that was for you all.
That was great. I mean, just to perform with someone that, you know, you look up to. But it was unbelievable. Her show was so, you know, so great legs.
Yeah. I mean, this lady's like, you know, 50 years old or whatever it is, and she's just like kicking. She's just kicking.
and we were also very fortunate to get to meet her too backstage in Sydney. We got to meet her there, and she was a great. You know, she was really good. She said to us, keep it in, hang in there and what have you and stuff. So it was really good.
Great voice.
Yeah, she does.
Huge.
It's a lot of support from a great star.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we have to go, of course, but we do want your derby tips before we go.
Encounter.
Yep. I've gone for Brave Prince to tie the knot.
All right. Well,
look. Not go Melbourne Tigers. Back to you, Tim.
Look, best of luck with Past to Present. We hope it all goes well.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us here today. I'll be handing you over now to Tim, who'll be hosting the afternoon. Tim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sandra. Have a rest.
Thank you.
Go and have a glass of something with bubbles in it.
Oh, okay.
Sandra Sully in our 10 marquee. Hello, everyone. Is the derby not far away? All those details shortly. But first, here's a chance for all of you around Australia to have a beautiful luxury weekend away. Angela Bishop with the details.
An exciting thing is happening in Sydney. I'm in the Lyric Theatre, just one part of the most amazing entertainment destination in Australia. Called Star City, it's set to open on November 26, and you could be here in Sydney to celebrate Star City's first weekend. Star City is giving away the ultimate prize. It includes a trip for 2 people to Star City to see Tom Jones live in concert on the 28th of November. You and a partner will be flying to Sydney business class and taken to Star City. You'll stay in the executive suite for 2 nights and enjoy dinner at Star City's exclusive restaurant, Astral. And just to make your stay even more memorable, you'll have $2,000 in cash to spend. There are also 4 weekends to be won at Star City and tickets to see Dean Perry's Steel City. All you need to do is call 1902 555 612 and answer this simple question. What's the name of Australia's most exciting entertainment destination?
It's a fabulous place, Star City, and a great prize there too. Now, you can call all week during our coverage of the Melbourne Cup, and we'll draw the winner on Monday, November 10 on Sports Tonight, so make sure you're watching that night, and that is a terrific prize. Reminder too, only open to viewers in Australia. Hope you're enjoying the derby coverage. Countdown now, only 20 minutes to the derby. On the other side of the break, we will rejoin you. Yes, indeed. This is the classic day for the classic race, the Victoria Derby of 1997. Of course, it's been around for well over 130 years. We've been around for 20 years, and this is another one. Encounter the favourite in the Derby this year, and a lot of people, I get the impression, having been outside for most of the morning, have come and joined us in the last half an hour or so. And as I said, when you think of the Melbourne Cup Carnival, you tend to think, I suppose, of the Melbourne Cup itself. But as we've known for 20 years, and most of the world has known for a long time, there's much more to Melbourne.